Welcome to the Unlock Podcast, another episode brought to you by Sindano Nekundi, your host. And today we have a special guest here with us today on the Unlock Podcast, where we share knowledge that creates opportunities for you. Our guest today is Vera from AKAH Consultants. And yeah, we're here to have a conversation about developing business registering and so forth. But let's get into who you are as a person, Yeah, introduce yourself.
I'm Vera Njong, and I'm a business consultant and an industrial engineer by profession. Origin, I'm coming from Cameroon, and I just moved to Namibia 2018. Then I got into school, and then I got into business after that, and that's what I'm working on right now. Business and career at the side.
Let's go a bit back. When you were a child, what did you think you would become when you grew up?
Oh, this question. When I was a child, I actually wanted to become a medical doctor. And but I changed my mind at the last minute, just before getting into university. Yeah. Then I moved to engineering.
Moved to engineering. And what inspires you basically in life? What is your philosophy? What wakes you up in the morning?
Getting the life I desire. Making life, having a good life, a better life every other day. Having that freedom to make every decision I need to make.
And as a business owner, that gives you the freedom to live your life?
Yes. That's after you finish building up the business and making it successful, then you can make almost every other decision.
Yeah.
You have the freedom, but at the beginning, it's more like you have to make decisions to build a business. You really do not have that complete freedom yet. Yes, because right now you're just trying to focus. Every decision you're trying to make should be channeled towards building that business.
AKAH Consultants.
Yes.
Give us an overview of that.
AKAH Consultancy is a firm which was basically created to provide support services to SMEs, because it was something I discovered. The SME owners and mid-sized companies are a bit ignored in the market of consulting, because most of the firms focus on corporates and SOEs, because those are the people who know the value of consulting services also. But with SMEs, they really do. Some of them do not know they actually need those services, but they are struggling and they do not get the attention they need to build their businesses. Yeah, so AKAH Consultancy is just there to offer support services right from setup on to growing the business and scaling, which includes registration and administration, strategy development, strategy implementation, business planning, logistics, bookkeeping, and so on. Yes.
So you spotted a gap in the market, more so for like the startups and the small, medium enterprises.
Yeah.
Why is it that they feel that they don't need help? Or I'm a new business, I'm starting up my business, and what would be the value of me coming to you?
To AKAH Consultancy. Now, one thing about startups or small business owners is we have the nature of hustle. So it's always like, yes, I have this business idea. I know I just need to do it and it's going to work. Now, we do not see every other background problem which we might face. We do not know what it takes to register the business. We do not even know what documents we need to have in place to say we are running a business. We do not know what it takes to keep that business current, even after you set it up. But most times we just feel, maybe you wake up today and you say, okay, there was that person who called you yesterday needing this product. You think, okay, you can make that a business. You don't know what records you're supposed to keep. You don't know what documents you're supposed to have in place every other time. You don't even know how to reach out to other clients apart from that person who reached out to you in the first place. So the benefit of coming to AKAH is more like we look at the business in a holistic manner. Not just your idea. We look at everything you need to put in place. We look at everything you need to have to be able to grow that business and scale it. We look at the scalability of the business. Can you take it out of where you are currently? Can you build maybe other branches and so on? Yes. So that's where AKAH comes in. Does the business planning, identifies what you need to do to grow your business and keep it running.
Right. So I have an idea, for example, a hustle. It's starting small. You know, I'm thinking about taking it to the next level. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are running businesses from their homes. It's just some cash on the side.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden things start picking up. Business starts picking up. At that point, now you're like, how do I scale? Where do I go to? And it's important that you mention that. So maybe just from your experience, what is that point that people then come to you? Is it at the point when they want to be serious about their business?
I think I will put the people in different groups. Some people come to me at the beginning just because, yes, the thing they want to register a business. And at this stage, a lot of the people I notice, they actually do not know what they want to do. They just come, okay, I want to register a business. Then you ask them what are going to be the principal business activities. Then they list every other thing which is being done in the market.
Yeah.
So they are not even focused on one particular thing. On a single business document, the person wants maybe catering services, logistics, transport, building and construction and everything together. So you see, the people are not sure exactly, but they just want to have a company. Maybe just for the purpose of shoot in case I see something to do. I've already listed it on here.
So they have everything listed.
Yeah. And then there are those people who also come at the stage where they notice, okay, I need to get this done. Like those who come for compliance, they notice maybe I need to register for this grant, or I need to apply for this tender and so on, and it's requiring these documents. They didn't even know they were supposed to keep certain things in order, or on a monthly basis they are supposed to renew. Then they come to you at that time. There are also those people who notice, there are also those people who notice, who want to get funding, and then they know, now I need a business plan. Now they find you to draft one. But now the risk also at this stage is most times you draft this business plan, so these people, they use it just for the purpose of getting the funding. And then they forget about it. But the business plan is actually there to help them. The reason why you can get funding using that business plan is because it has practical steps. It proves that the business is viable. But the moment you get the funding and you forget about the document.
So your business plan is almost like your strategy, your charter. It outlines what the operations are going to be, the incomes, how you're going to make an income, how you're going to use it to pay for expenses and plan for the future. Yeah, and now this business plan, let's go now into the industry. Funding, where can a person get funding? The banks, grants, and so forth?
With startups, you can get it from the banks, from commercial banks. You can get it from angel investors. You can get it from equity ventures or equity investors. But for you to get it from any of these people, for the bank, sometimes they have certain schemes in place, such as like the Development Bank has these youth schemes, women and youth schemes and all that, which you can go into and get funding just with a business plan without proving any traction. But for people like investors or equity investors, angel investors, they want to see some traction. They want to see your records from the past. So you must have done the business to for a period of time, and you're able to prove to them, okay, if you give me this money, I can make this much out of it.
A lot of people, they also, startups especially, they go to competitions. Corporate world now is running a lot of fun, to find win, do a pitch.
Yes.
Come and present us your concept, and then you can win 50,000, 80,000, 100,000. The first question is, what is your tips for those people? Because some people win it just because they have more information and experience. And your services, I suppose, can also help them do a pitch better.
Yes.
What goes into making a successful pitch?
Now, it first comes from the basis of it is understanding the problem your solution or your business is going to solve. Now, that's the first thing which the investors or whatever company who is running that competition is looking out for. Do you understand the problem you're trying to address in the first place? And do you clearly put it out to them or explain to them how your solution is going to solve this problem for those having these problems? Secondly, you must also show them your interest. How interested are you in this particular thing you're trying to do? Next thing, you must also show them how are you going to spend this money they give to you. What exactly are you going to use the money for? Is it maybe to acquire assets or to build a team or to do this? And then now you must also prove, which is based on your past traction, if they give you this money, how much are you going to make after receiving this grant? How much is it going to help you and the business? So those are the key things which these people look out for. But you as a person, you must also be confident while presenting that. Because you're dealing with human beings and they can pick up when you're not sure of what you're saying.
Exactly. I think also some people talk too much about their history and don't get to the point.
You don't get to the point. You're just busy talking about the past. But what exactly is it at this time? And what is it tomorrow? What will it be the day after?
The second question is, how much money is enough money? Is 50,000 grant enough? Maybe to help your business, but realistically, would it make more sense for a corporate to maybe back one or two companies and put 200,000 is per company, perhaps 250 even, or give it to 10 companies, 50.
Okay, this will be a tricky question because, like for now, the corporates do share small amounts to a larger group. That's because to them, they are just trying to assist a higher population. I wouldn't say any particular amount is enough to build your business because it depends on the specific industry or the specific type of business you're running, and it depends on what you need at the time. Now, but it's a question which is going to address quite a number of issues. I hear a lot of people complaining like the corporates cannot be giving us 10,000 or 20,000. It's not enough to build my business. What am I going to do with that? But otherwise, if they do not give you, you do not even have anything in the first place. That can be a start. And that's one thing which the entrepreneurs also, or young business people, have to learn. We have to discard that entitlement mentality. These people do not owe you anything. You started your business on your own. You decided I want to venture into business. It's your place to find what you need. If these people decide to assist you with something, even if it's a $5,000 or $100, it's something which a single dollar is very important in every business. That's why we talk about record keeping and proper bookkeeping. If you lose a single dollar per day over the whole year, how much have you lost? 365. And we know the value of money with time. Now, but these people come up to assist you and they give you a certain amount of money and you're ungrateful. So that's just something we just have to discard. If you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you go in there with the mentality of you have to make it work, whatever way. So whatever assistance you get, it's very valuable to building that business. A 10,000 can pay maybe 2 of your employees for a month. That's great assistance to the business. A 10,000 can be used for marketing, which will bring in more customers for the business, or just make people aware of your brand. And whenever they need your services, they think of you. That is assistance to the business.
Yes.
But if you cannot use that 20,000 or 10,000 given to you properly, you will also not use the 250,000 properly.
Very good insights. Now let's go on to where the other associations come in, like BIPA, for instance, and NAMRA and the Ministry of Trade. What kind of a relationship do you build with these associations as a business? When you go to BIPA, you go to register your business, you make sure that a name is not taken up already, and what else?
For AKAH Consultancy itself, for most of these organizations, what I do is you get to know what their standard processes are, what is needed in each of these offices. If you're registering a new business, if you're amending something on the formally registered business, if you're updating your tax category and all of that. So first I try to know everything which is involved in helping, because I cannot help the clients if I do not even know what is going on. And in cases where I'm actually not aware, or maybe something has changed over time, if I have to talk to the client, then I tell you, okay, let me verify and make sure whatever information I'm giving you is true, and I'll come back to you. And those are just basic ethics which business owners also have to incorporate into their interaction with clients. And then with things like BIPA also, I wouldn't want to put out information on plans which are still under the breach, but yeah, I'm working on making it more seamless to register businesses. If you come through AKAH though, not if you
we already have the path for you. We make it easier,
exactly,
more convenient.
Yes, because it also becomes very frustrating dealing with the queues, dealing with the uncertainty. Sometimes you even go out to the counters at these organizations and the people there themselves are not exactly sure of what is supposed to be done. And then you keep having this back and forth. No, bring this other stuff. No, change this. No, but those are things which could have been picked up from the counter. Yes, so.
In general, how long does it take to start a business? Like from idea and then registering it, like properly. And what type of company? You have your sole proprietors, CC,
the closed corporations,
PTY,
and private limited. So the duration to start a company, for the registration, I'll say a standard 15 working days for the registration and incorporation with all necessary authorities. But starting up the company itself is not just a registration. It has to involve identifying the gap in the market. It involves doing your market research to find product market fit, actually see if your service or product is needed, if it's going to make you money. It also involves getting your business plan, developing your business plan, and then before you even think of registering the business. But unfortunately, a lot of times we ignore all these other first steps and we skip to registering the business. Then from there we start juggling to see what next do I do. So it will also depend on how much time you have on your hand, how urgent starting up the business is for you. It could take anywhere between maybe a month to 3 or 5, depending also on the industry you're trying to get into and yourself also as a person. Now, talking about the types of companies, we can have closed corporations and private limited companies. All these are just, the main difference is like in the structure. the governance. For closed corporations, you can run it as an individual, as a sole proprietor. You make all the decisions, whether based on your emotions or based on logic. You have the freedom.
Okay.
But for Peterwise, which is the proprietary limited companies, you must have directors in place, which is now the added benefit to this structure. Every decision you make in this business goes through your board of directors, who are there obviously to look out for the business and not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a limitation on your emotional decisions, and you're
it's
out
like,
of the blue.
Steve Jobs, who lost Apple. He built the company, and then you lose it, the board votes you out.
Exactly.
Unfair,
so you can actually be voted out, even though you might be the only shareholder, but you can be voted out of the board if you're not looking out for the company. Then, because the board is just there for the company, not for you as a person.
Okay. Why did you choose to help people?
Okay.
Register business and start a business, or
and build a
advise
business.
them.
Okay, what happened is this will come back to when I got to Namibia. While studying, I was working with on the site. I decided to work with a business consulting firm, and the gap which I actually spotted in the market from the beginning, I've noticed a lot more, which I'm also addressing.
Mm-hmm.
But the first which I noticed was customer service for SMEs and startups. It's terrible. It's very poor in our society, unfortunately. Because even until now, forgetting about whatever I saw from my last place of work, I still have people coming to me and they tell me, no, I earlier paid for this to someone else and it was never done. Or now they don't just pick my calls anymore, or they are forever saying, no, I'm bringing you this and I'm bringing you that, and they never show up. So from working with that firm, I always had to mend or deal with clients. I was the one dealing with the clients directly, and I noticed I seem to care more about the feelings or what the type of service these people got, even more than the owner of the business.
Okay.
So I'll have clients call this person and they will just not pick up, and these clients will reach out to me, and maybe their information they are giving the clients is forever unreal and not true and just lies, but I try to manage that client relationship. So now I've always loved business, by the way, and the reason why I did industrial engineering was because it's more on business management. So the idea was really to get into business from the get-go.
Okay.
So then I decided, okay, I'm going to go into consulting. The moment I completed my education, I decided I was going to go into consulting.
Hiring people, interviewing them, scanning them for their character, what value they can bring to your business, because you don't just want to pay somebody
for no value.
For no value, and they're just coming to sit and expect it.
Yeah, for SMEs, which is my community of people, and startups, I'll actually say the first thing you should look at is their drive. The drive of these people, like how from the interview you can know how passionate or pushful or inquisitive these people are. Because really, as a startup, all you're really trying to do, or what you should be trying to do, is to grow the business. And for you to grow the business, you need people with a growth mindset. People who are willing to grow themselves and to grow whatever thing they find themselves in, which is your business at this point in time. So you must look out for people who are passionate about growth, not just the people who come to tell you, no, I studied this and I studied that and I can do this because I had a cum laude. And exactly. You might even find people who exactly do not have the experience, but the proof that they are willing to learn and they are willing to grow themselves. Because, okay, for me as a person, I will easily say, you might mention something for me to do, like on my career side. I know I've never done that before. I'm not sure exactly how it's supposed to be done, but I'm gonna say, okay, yes, let me work on it. Now I go back and do my research. Wherever I'm stuck, then maybe I go to someone who I think is better at it or would know better, or even just a colleague who is not on that, and I say, okay, run through this, what do you think? You always pick up those insights. So it's more of how inquisitive this person is. How much are they willing to do for themselves?
To develop themselves.
Exactly. Are they willing to grow? And then the next thing you should also look at is ethics. Because at the startup stage, your image in front of your clients is very important. So you need to ensure the people you work with also have that ethics that is going to protect your business. They must be have basic morals per se.
Your people are your brand.
Exactly. So if your employees are nonchalant, rude, or just unkempt, it affects the image of your company also. You wouldn't say, no, this is just an employee, they're not exactly the company, but that's the person the client meets, that's the person the client talks to, that's the person who does the work. And it shows off also, even the people who do not interact directly with the client, it shows off in the quality of what they deliver. Maybe just a document and you go through and you find all the spelling errors and punctuation errors. You as a client, you get such a document, you're obviously unimpressed. So I would say the main thing which startups should look at, because most of the times also the startups might not be able to pay the price for the very experienced group of people.
Talent.
Exactly. So at that time, find the people who are willing to learn. Find the people who are willing to grow for themselves and for your company, and grow your company. Find the people who have that mindset of being somewhere else tomorrow and not just trying to make bread for the day.
Sometimes as a business owner, you don't want to train them too much for fear of losing them to other competition or to other places, because you put in money into developing a person and then they leave. Where do you find the balance?
Now with regards to training employees, what I would say for business owners is, yes, that's the struggle. I may train this person on all these and tomorrow they wake up and leave my business, then I have to train another person and it's cost upon the company. But at the end of the day, if you do not train them, your own business suffers. So what you want to do at that point in time while they are there, you're trying to deliver the best quality of work or service you can offer to your clients. So whatever training you need to give to them, give it to them. Now the next thing is employees also. Yes, there's the first desire amongst most people is always the higher pay. It's almost always the monetary side. Maybe you're not paying me enough and I know all this now. I think I can go to a competitor who will pay me more. But now at this point, yourself as the business owner, you should not limit. You should obviously know, as a business owner, you know employees are going to leave. That's
at some point.
That's exactly. That's just something you're supposed to build or prepare yourself emotionally for. But while they are there, optimize that resource. Use it up. I wouldn't say it because it's a person, but use up the resource as much as you can. If you need to train them for them to be able to get something right and do something right for the business, go ahead and do it. Now, what will also protect your business is put policies in place. If an employee has to leave, how much grace period or what's the period of announcement before the leave. Those are the policies you put in place to protect yourself. If it's a 2 months period, within 2 months, while the employee already announced, okay, they are leaving in 2 months, you can find a replacement. You can bring someone in who learns from them before they step out. That's how you control your cash flow and you control your employee turnover. But you really cannot control employees and stop them from leaving. But also, if you give them a healthy work environment, you train them. There's also that, apart from the monetary side, the employees who are really interested in growth will stay.
Yeah, it's a good company.
Exactly.
Being treated well.
Exactly. And the environment is healthy, they will stay. Regardless of how much you're paying them. Yes, they might look at something on the side, but a lot of times people can be loyal too. Employees can become loyal if you are a good boss.
Loyalty goes a long
Not
way.
very common.
You were talking about emotion as a business person. Like, what are your tips to managing emotion? Times can get tough. COVID-19 was here, disrupted a lot of businesses. Some went out, some survived, some pivoted and actually improved.
So as a business owner first, with managing your emotions, which are connected to the business, my first advice will be for you, have someone you trust who you can talk to. A lot of times you cannot control your emotions on your own, or you cannot. There are times you can talk to yourself and calm down, but sometimes you just need someone to listen. Have someone you trust who you can talk to, someone who also, who you're sure of their intention towards you or their thoughts towards you. Not just a friend you hang out with. Yeah, because you need someone, if you talk to someone and they listen, for you to actually feel better, you need to have it, need to feel like this person cares about you, actually. And cares about how you feel. So it's not just some discussion over bottles and so on. Have someone you can talk to whenever you're down. Secondly, have a team or people also you can talk about finances to.
Okay.
Without feeling judged or feeling.
Because sometimes you find yourself in it, you don't wanna almost feel like embarrassing yourself.
Exactly. So you must have people who allow you to be true about whatever you're going through or whatever situation you're facing. And the next thing is exactly the times you're in debt, and if you do not have the right people, you cannot talk to people about your debts. You feel very embarrassed, you feel very ashamed. So you must really trust someone to talk to them about that, and you must be sure of their mindset also, how they think. So you must have that team which can tell you, okay, you're at this point in time now, this is what I think you should do, and not just to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
How important is a mentor?
A mentor is, I would say, extremely important. Yes, because these people, they actually advise you based on experience and what their expertise. Yes. So a lot of times mentors can help you get out of this anxiety also. They'll also let you know like realities and tell you, okay, this what you're facing, you're not the first person. These things do happen, but this is how you should navigate it. This is how you should move away from it. This is what you can do to change that situation.
They've been through probably what you've been through.
Exactly. So such things help you, and then also you, as a business owner, you just have to build yourself in whatever you have to do, you just have to build yourself in such a way that you can also have control over your emotions to an extent. Because there are times when things will go wrong, an employee will do something completely uncalled for. But you have to manage it. You cannot beat up your employee. You cannot fire people out of the blue. So you have to be able to manage yourself and manage the people around you.
I see some people who also hire somebody who's like a COO to manage the people while I manage the business. Because I know myself.
I cannot manage the people. Yeah, that helps. That works for some people also.
Okay. What are your tips, just in general, like for good business ideas, solid businesses that a person could go into? If you...
Okay, for tips on business types, I'll say right now the world is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly looking for ways to do things easier, or I want to get things done without necessarily being done by myself.
Yeah.
So if people have ideas of rendering services such as running the smallest errands or just automating some little errands for people, it's something which will really be appreciated, because people are constantly looking for easy lives. Everyone just wants to relax, no matter what. Sometimes even you as a person, you might know how to cook, but you just do not want to cook. You might know how to wash, but you just do not want to wash. You might know how to write out a document, you just do not want to do it. So I'll say right now it's not really product-based businesses. There's still quite a lot of money, but only if you're innovative. And very, very innovative to say, okay, I can change this water into wine. Yes, then the wine is
if you press
cheaper.
a button, it turns into wine.
Exactly. But on the other side, even rendering services needs innovation, but it's a bit more friendly towards the less innovative. So I would just say people would just look around you, even look at yourself, those things which you feel like, I wish there was someone who could do this for me, or I wish I could do this in an easier way without taking up so much of my time or my energy or my focus.
Use your own skills that you already have.
Exactly. And that's how you make money, because you shouldn't also, I will always advise people, don't look too far from what you're already capable of doing. Don't look too far from your capabilities. Start with your capabilities. You're able to do this. Okay, is this something people face problems with? Okay, how do I make it a business? That's how you go on.
So I'd like to ask you, what are your goals for your business? Where do you see yourself and helping people over the next few years?
Okay, for AKAH Consultancy, I actually see this as a brand, the first brand every entrepreneur or SME owner gets to think about the moment they think about business or they face problems in their business. And not just for the community in Namibia, I look to taking it out abroad to different African countries also, and also to assist incoming investors. Those coming in to invest in Namibia, we are currently
so partnering investors with companies that they can fund.
Exactly. So and even the people who are coming to create businesses within Namibia from scratch, no matter what. You see, Namibia is currently opening doors for foreign investors a lot, so these people also will need assistance, and assistance with a trustworthy brand. So that's where I look to take AKAH in the short time, and also just to build it as a brand. It's going to have a couple of sections, not just the consultancy. It's going to go into it's going to have a section or a side for logistics, business logistics. Basically, we are already working on that. It's also going to have a side for insurance, because it's going to be like a holistic support services for businesses and the business owners. So whatever thing, I wouldn't say whatever because I'm not going to offer everything, but the main things which I think SME owners generally struggle with, it's something which is going to be present. It's going to be like a one-stop shop. And Yeah, and AKAH, by the way, is my name, and the meaning of the name is expand.
Interesting.
So the brand is going to be expanded beyond Namibia, beyond SADC region, and to the entire Africa. So let's watch the space.
Do you have any final words for the people? I mean, how can they find you, and just inspiration to start a business, and they can come to you, of course, for your services and help them.
Okay, my final words to business owners and startups will be a lot of time these people get anxious when they think of starting up a business. And what I'll say, just like in every other situation of life, take the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Make the decision to move forward. So far as you made the decision, AKAH is willing to help you. Just if you have the mindset to push. Because sometimes you also find the people who you see are just not really serious about this business. And I mean, that time also you can offer to someone who is much more serious about their business. Secondly, I would say to business owners, we must stop running businesses like, we must stop the treatment mentality or ways of doing things in business. Don't get to address things, don't just react to situations. Set up a business with the intention to make it grow, to make it an actual business that will generate money, wealth, and actually build something for your generation and so on. Don't just do business with the mindset of, okay, I want to apply for this thing, that's all. And then you also only act when you find something you want to do.
You saw that a lot with the fishing quotas. Exactly. Business registrations went through the roof.
Exactly. And then after that, when it doesn't work, you just forget. Everyone who thinks of business must first think of building an innovative mind. Build yourself to desire growth. And always look out for opportunities. The moment you have the business registered, the next thing is work on growing it. Work on the scalability, work on building a team, something that can actually last without you. Stop building one-man shows.
One-man shows?
One man.
Oh.
My pronunciation.
1 month?
1 month.
Oh, 1 month. Okay.
Stop starting up businesses just for yourself and being the only person running it. Just as I was saying earlier, that's how you kill the business.
Yeah, you can't do it solo.
You cannot do it on your own.
Up to a point, but yeah, you're gonna need a team.
You need different set of people from different fields, different mindsets to actually help you grow the business. They must not be part of the business necessarily. They don't have to be employees exactly. At some point you will need employees, but you need people who can look at the business objectively.
Yeah.
Separating emotions. Because for you as a business owner, a lot of times your emotions cloud your judgment. Your ego also clouds your judgment sometimes because you're the one who started the business. You don't want to believe your idea is not viable. You don't want to listen to others. Exactly. You need someone from outside who has no emotional connection or whatever to tell you, okay, you have this idea, but this is where there is a loophole in that idea. Or this is what your competitors are doing. You might want to follow them because sometimes we also get so egoistic. You see your competitor stepping up the game, but you're just like, no, I'm sure of my idea, I'm not going to copy them. That's how you get kicked out of the market.
Or stay innovative so you stay ahead of the game.
Exactly. So I would say business owners, treat your business as an actual business. Don't treat it as an emergency, should I say an emergency source of fun.
I also see a lot of people, they use the company account as a personal account. Mixing up
finances for the business and personal finances. That's that's the worst thing you can do as a business owner. You're eventually going to chop up that money.
Because you feel like you have money.
No matter how you convince yourself and say no, I'm very straightforward, or I'm not going to touch this money. I know the amount in this account, 50% is for the business and 50%, you're eventually going to go into that 50%. One day you tell yourself, okay, I can just get this, but I'll put it back. That is how you eat it up. But once you separate the business account or the business finances from your personal finances, first also when you have to approach funders or investors, that already gives them a sense of trust. You have clear records. If they go to your bank statements, you can explain every transaction on there. But the moment you mix it up with your personal finances, you almost cannot differentiate your transactions. It becomes difficult to keep. Sometimes you can actually think, you cannot exactly say declare the financial standing of the company at any point in time because you're not sure exactly what is on there. But
so financial statements
is the first step. Then you can easily look through your records, and this is something which business owners also have to learn to do. Look through your records on maybe a monthly basis. Just get management accounts, and that's what I do for some clients also, like monthly bookkeeping with monthly reports on how your business has performed. Once you look through those reports, you can easily identify, okay, what did I spend the most on? How can I cut this cost?
You can measure your business performance.
Exactly. But a lot of people do not do that, and you only realize the business is down the moment you're already deep into the hole.
Where does tax come in?
Tax also, a lot of people do not register for tax because they do not want to pay tax. But you only pay taxes based on the profits you made. Namra is not going to come at you if you made losses in business. Okay. And truly, if you made losses and you're not just telling lies, meanwhile there is money in the account. But taxes only come at the end of the year, of your financial year, not the calendar year. You have to compile your annual financial statements, which has all the cash flow, equity statements and everything. You have to, on that statement now, you have all your expenses, profits and everything. And currently the percentage for taxes for companies is 32%, a flat rate. So out of your profits, 32% goes to Namra.
End of the year.
End of your financial year, yeah.
I'm sure there are ways now to not avoid tax, but
legally evade.
Yeah, legally preserve your profits.
Yeah.
Where you can perhaps keep it in a trust, or some profits that you made that you can perhaps keep in a trust.
Yeah, they're
thinking.
There's a possibility of
how the rich do.
legally evading tax. Yeah. So what business owners can do, you can look at investments. You can look to invest in other ventures or in other things, but these things also are quite controlled. You cannot be the owner of both companies, be the managing director maybe of both companies, and then you move profits from here to the next and say it's an investment, because it becomes our Namra will not consider that as legal. You cannot run both entities.
Yeah.
And then you move profits from one to the next and you say it's an investment. That's you just being
or it's a profit for the other company.
Exactly. So it's more like you can look at investments, invest into other ventures, because dividends are not taxable. So whatever you get out of that investment, it's purely just money for you. You can look at corporate social responsibilities. When you give to the community, that also cuts down your taxes. You can look at trust, such things. And there are a couple of other ways, but I would say
pay your taxes.
Yes, pay your taxes. But there are ways which you can just limit the amount of taxes you pay legally, and the impact on the company. So that's why a lot of times, if you read the book of, I think it's Rich Dad Poor Dad,
I've read it.
which spoke about where the rich dad said the rich people pay themselves
First.
yes, before any other thing.
Mm.
But for the civil servant or the poor people, you pay your taxes first, and then whatever is left over from that is what you get to use for yourself. So it's just you being, should I say, being intelligent enough to spot out ways you can actually shift some of this income to reduce how much tax amount, the final tax amount you'll be paying.
And I suppose it's also good to have emergency funds for crisis.
For the business. Yeah, that's why on emergency funds, that's where a trust can come in. That's where investments, like not exactly now investments into another company, because if you invest into another company, you probably have just a percentage profit or dividends you're being paid out in a period of time. You can look at things like insurance for the business, investment insurance for the business. Those amounts are amounts you can get at any point in time. If your business is at a low point today, you can call up the insurance company and say, I need that money on that portfolio, and they pay it out to you, and you use it to rebuild your business. So those are the things people can look at. But a lot of people look at insurance just for their personal self, like funeral covers, because you think maybe you're older insurance. Person who soon die, and then you get. But you need business insurance also. Not just risk, but also investment for the business. That's also how you build capital for the business in a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe you're planning to expand.
Yes.
That is how you get the capital together.
Any other words, tips?
And the last thing I'll say, compliance.
Governance.
For businesses. It's very important. Corporate compliance and state statutory compliance based on regulations set by the government or something.
Explain that a bit.
Now, with statutory compliance, it's mostly based on what does the government of the country expect you to do, or what are those commitments which every business is supposed to commit to as an entity within a certain country. The registration with BIPA is one of it. The annual duties with BIPA is one of it, which is what a lot of people do not know about. Registration with NAMRA is one of it. Registration with Social Security is one of it. Registration with Ministry of Trade is one of it for Namibian-owned companies. Registration with Employment Equity Commission is one of it, and all that. And maybe for some people, depending on what specific industry you go on to register with specific ministry, like for tourism companies, you have to register with the tourism board and all that. All those things different are important for you to actually operate efficiently and actually be able to bring in money, because sometimes we ignore these things because we are trying to save a little cash, but at the end of the day we get to spend more. Like on BIPA, the moment you might not pay the annual duty because you're trying to save 120 for the whole year, but the moment you have to pay that, the penalty on that 120 late payment is a whole 650. So
for late payment.
For late payment.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, how much have you lost?
Yeah.
So those are just some of the things we have to look at. Next, the other thing is avoiding tax, evading tax illegally. When you evade taxes, if NAMRA comes for you, they have based on the act, the policy, they have the right to actually acquire your property, or to get the bank to pay out whatever they determine to be your tax at that point in time, which might not be the true figure. And you get to lose all that money maybe on penalties. There are also programs which they have created now to clear off penalties, and a tax relief program, which is something which I think a lot of businesses should make use of, because a lot of us have not been submitting our tax returns and paying taxes, and we have penalties and interest on those penalties.
You've given us a lot of insight into starting a business, registering it, how to run it, errors and mistakes to avoid, how to grow it. And I believe if you're looking for more information, you can also contact AKAH Consultants, and they can help you with pretty much everything that you need to successfully start a business with the right foundations. Maybe give us your context.
If you're trying to reach us, you can send an email to vera@akahconsult.com. That is my personal email. And you can also call us at 081-4125-335. For those out of Namibia, do not forget the country code +264.
Has been another Unlocked episode. For all the unlockers out there, go out, fetch your dreams, and we'll see you next time. My name is Sindano Nekundi.
And I am Vera Njong from AKAH Consultancy. See you next time.
Cheers.